Hi and welcome to a brand new episode of Gadget Nation with me, Adam Carruthers, and there's plenty in store for you today, including something about prototypes and cameras, plus the winner announcement for who gets that brand new Samsung Notebook Series 5 Ultra. Can't wait for that. Let's start the show.
We are very excited about the launch of the Samsung Galaxy S3. In terms of, to compare against the predecessor, which is the S2 globally, we sold more than 20 million units of S2 in 10 months. So we believe that the Samsung Galaxy S3 would surpass this number easily. So in terms of market share, we are proud to say that we are the market leader. And certainly with the launch of Samsung Galaxy S3, we'll continue to not only grow our shares, but actually to drive the entire market growth. I wouldn't comment on my competition. However, for the Samsung Galaxy S3, it's really very intuitive. If you've seen all the demonstration, that whenever we have really put a lot of thoughts behind the launch of this phone, it's very important that we understand the behavior of the consumer, and the phone actually has a lot of human interaction features that were built into it, and we are very proud that these human features we believe would drive consumers to actually come to the phone. So coming back to your question, we are confident that once the user actually experience the phone, they would actually come to Samsung and they will really enjoy the experience of owning a Samsung Galaxy S3.
On the go from its core, it's just about getting content to you at the screen that you want to watch it on. So what we've launched today are the iPad app version and the web version, which allows you to access your content or access content from Astro either on the go, like outside, connected over Wi-Fi or 3G, in the home, connected over your home broadband. Wherever you can get a broadband connection, you can now watch content from Astro in a variety of places. So the iPad app is all about that convenience, that that portable device that you can tuck in your bag, whip out when you want, put on your lap. It's about live channels. It's about on-demand content. It's really all of what Astro TV is about for you in your favorite device, in the iPad. And the web online version is really just an improved on steroids version of what we had played before with B Player. And it brings the on-demand content, it brings those live streams as well, and it just gives you that high-quality experience in a connected way. What we've tried to do is create this seamless experience. It says if you start watching in one place, you start watching, you stop, you start watching again in another place or on another device, you just pick up where you left off, because you don't want to have to go searching through and figure out where it was and fast forward. So we remember for you. So start watching in the morning, watch 25 minutes of the movie, get to the office, have to actually do some work, maybe you get some time at lunch and you go online and watch a little bit of the rest of it, pick up right where you left off in the morning. I mean, obviously what I hope to see is a lot of people taking it, a lot of people downloading it, a lot of people using it, it becoming an important part of the way people watch TV. I think the time is ripe. I think you're seeing broadband speeds improve in Malaysia. You're seeing device take-up ready. There's a hungry market for it, and we're ready to serve that. So I just hope it becomes an important part of what people value about Astro.
You gotta admit one thing, Olympus have been pumping out some pretty nice cameras over the past 3, 4, perhaps 5 years. Or at least I think so. Now they've come out to say they got something even more premium than their pen series in the Micro Four Thirds category. What could I be talking about? Let's find out. Oh, sorry, we're recording. My bad. Okay, so as you can see right here, something new from Olympus, and I have to say I'm rather impressed. They've been making waves in the past couple of years with their pen series, starting off the EP1. They've gone back to their roots, retro-looking camera, as you can see right here, which is supposedly supposed to appeal to more professional users, more advanced users. However, they say don't discriminate because even beginners could probably start off on this. And I can see why. Don't be fooled by the size in my rather large hands because there's more than meets the eye, just like Transformers. Firstly, let me introduce the camera because I haven't actually spoken about it. This is the OMD. Yeah, sounds like something a teenage girl in America would say. OMD, like something from Glee. But anyhow, I digress. Now, as you can see, it's quite flimsy looking in a sense, but trust me, there's a lot to it that doesn't really show you. For example, this magnesium alloy body, it's basically weatherproof, so obviously that's borrowing from the top of the line series, so really serious photographers should like that aspect. Now that also falls into the additional add-ons that you can get, like the battery grip, the lenses and so forth, all being weatherproof. So you can go out and shoot wherever you need in whatever conditions. So obviously that's a big plus point. Now, unlike other range viewfinders that we find from, say, Fujifilm, the X100, this one here, well, let's just say that it packs a little bit more than what Fujifilm have offered in terms of options. Now, as you can see right there, they've rearranged a couple of things. Obviously, the toggle for all the different functions is here, so you get more around to play with on the right-hand side where the shoot button is. Now, that is a good point because you can easily switch just using your right finger. Why am I using my left? I don't know. But a couple of gripes about that would be that it feels a little bit flimsy. Now, you may have noticed very carefully that, in fact, two function buttons, one there, that's function 2, function 1, obviously you can set whatever you want there, but it just feels a little bit flimsy. It sometimes requires more than one push to actually activate the button, so I'm not a big fan of that. And also, the playback button, well, honestly, I think it could have been a little bit more sturdy, a little bit more prominent, given the importance of it, and also that feels just a wee little bit too flimsy for my liking. Saying all that, it's great having everything in one corner for easy access with your right trigger finger. So what else is nifty about this? Well, we talked about the top part right there. Let's just focus a little bit here, which will look definitely more familiar to a lot of you. One thing though, surrounding the menu and the info and the delete button, with this now it's just four-way navigational button. I kind of like the old system whereby you could access your macro and all of that. It's not anymore the case here, but it does the job at the end of the day. Now, one cool thing that this camera here, the OMD, to give it its full name, EM5, has over the pen series or the EP3 is that it's an electronic viewfinder here and the screen. Now, one thing about the screen is it is a tiltable screen, as you can see, so you can make it tilt however you want. So that's really, really nifty. And the viewfinder is built in. Now, there's also a sensor there, so it will turn it off on the screen itself and focus on the electronic viewfinder. So that's obviously an added bonus. If you didn't know, you have to get an additional electronic viewfinder for the hot shoe compartment on the pen series. Now, it does also have the hot shoe compartment there for you to attach the flash because this does not have a flash on it, which is a negative point for me. But maybe you just want to get a better flash so it'll kind of balance itself out in that sense. There's also other compartments, priority charger for you to attach other products. You can also put in the battery pack, additional one here, which is also a grip and a compartment for an extra battery. So obviously that's an added bonus. So there really are a whole host of features and add-ons that you can add onto this OMD. Well, I've only had a short amount of time with this little camera here, but I like everything I've seen so far. There's plenty to like about it and very little to not like about it, but I do need a bit more time with it before I give you a further review. So look out for that on a future episode of Gadget Nation. couple of years back, Prototype came out. It was a pretty nifty little game, pretty steady, although nothing that's going to really win a huge amount of awards. However, a lot of improvements have been promised for Prototype 2. Question is, as always, does it live up to expectations and promises? Avery has the answer. Let's find out.
Hey, Avery Score with another zombie-packed episode of the Gamer Station. Now, do you like drop-kicking helicopters in midair? Of course you do, because it's the best quadricep workout that you can get if you can't afford a Pilates instructor at home. So what are we playing today? We're playing Prototype 2, and I was hugely looking forward to this title because I was just a tremendous fan of Prototype 1, whiling away many an hour in France playing that game, just enjoying the crap out of it. And this time around, the gameplay mechanics haven't been much changed. The big shakeup, however, is that you're no longer playing as Alex Mercer. Now, for the uninitiated, Alex Mercer is a misunderstood chap who wears a hoodie, much like the star Cole of the Infamous series, and has released a virus on NYZ. So you're playing in NYZ again, and the virus has been released in the very same spot in Penn Station and caused mass hysteria, huge zombies to rise up out of the earth, larger crazy creatures like hydras, which break the pavement and require some dexterous work on the controller in order to defeat. Not too dexterous, however, because the difficulty this time around has been scaled way, way down. So my advice, if you want a satisfying experience from Prototype 2, play on hard mode. I'm on my second playthrough now, enjoying it much, much more. If you haven't played Prototype 1, concept is pretty simple. It's a beat 'em up with kind of a survival horror feel to it. So if you like the Fear series, for example, you might enjoy this, knowing that it's much more based on crowd control and huge amount of mobs just rushing at you at once, mashing on the control pad in order to defeat them. The combat has been somewhat refined, but pretty much it stays the same with you're scratching people up with your claws, you're shooting vines at them, and you're doing special attacks to unleash massive, massive devastation. Where this game really shines is just the feel of huge destruction that you can unleash on the unsuspecting zombies that are attacking you. You can jump up on a tank, either hijack it or straight up pull the gun off of it and start mowing down fools. You can jump high into the air, use your locomotion techniques such as gliding in order to get really high up and slam down into the pavement, creating a huge crater and just laying waste to dozens of zombies simultaneously. So you've got a wealth of combat options at your disposal, and where the game really, really excels is allowing you to choose how you want to dispatch of your unwary foes. Additionally, much more focus this time around has been put on the stealth mechanics of the game. So there are many missions and sequences wherein you're going to have to infiltrate an enemy base, usually one of the Blackwater bases. And in order to do this, you'll have to assume the identity of perhaps a commander of that base. The way you do this is you scan around, make sure nobody's looking at the commander at that time, or nobody's looking at whoever you're trying to hijack and become, and you pretty sneak up behind him, do a quick stealth kill, and you adopt his persona and his appearance. That's pretty cool, and you can move through whole levels like this. So in addition to the great combat, there's also the ability to just straight up play stealth and avoid confrontations entirely. So that allows you a wealth of sort of play options and accommodates a wealth of play styles and potentially add some replay value to the game. By far the weakest part of Prototype 2 is its story and characters and character development, or should I say lack thereof. I'm not saying that Alex Mercer was an incredibly sympathetic and charismatic character, but at least he had sort of, an interesting relationship with his sister, and, you kind of cared about that, and you thought, hey, this guy's being misunderstood and framed for something that's not totally his fault. This time around, everyone in the game is a huge jerk. From the protagonist, James Heller, who's a huge jerk, just sort of riddled with batitude, with nothing left to lose, and, has lost his family, to all of the other characters in the game, especially the scientists. There's this huge amount of antagonism that's very cliched between the military and the scientists. And yeah, it's kind of been done before, and you're hearing the same kind of trite dialogue over and over again, like, "Thanks a lot, Mr. Scientist." And yeah, it's not all that entertaining. In the end, I found myself not caring at all about James Heller or his plight, or the plight of any of the characters in the game. There's an especially kind of strained relationship between James Heller and this guy named Luis Guerra, who's a priest, I guess, although maybe he was a member of a gang formerly. He makes reference to tattoo removal. And these characters are very one-dimensional. The fact that they would be friends is very unlikely, and even more unlikely is the idea that this priest somehow has his ear to the ghetto grapevine and knows where Blackwater is going and what they're doing. So the story really doesn't hold a lot of water. But then again, do you care about the story? The reason you want to pick up Prototype 2 is just enjoying, de-stressing, you know, playing the game, just knocking out some zombies, and generally just not thinking for a few hours. This is not a thinking man's title. This is what you want to play after you've done 8 hours of work, you've used the old kepi, and you no longer want to have a thought in the world. So I'm going to get back to that. I'm going to really relax, and I'm going to unleash some devastation. Thanks for watching.
Diamondback 1-1. Please be advised that Alex Mercer is active in your AP. I repeat, Mercer is currently 2 clicks east, Delta Zero.
I got you now.
Hold your position. Reinforcements are en route. Form up! Prepare to engage. What the hell? Sergeant? Open fire! Open fire!
The results are in. We have our winners for that really nifty Samsung Notebook Series 5 Ultra. Congratulations to each and every single one of you. And don't worry, you log on to our Facebook page or the official Astro Awani page to double check that you are in fact a winner. And I'm sure there'll be plenty more prizes to give out in the near future here on Gadget Nation. But now though, my name is Adam Carruthers. Till next time.